So as you continue to do this, what you're going to start seeing is you're building momentum. Now, another thing you have to be careful of is making sure stuff doesn't just disappear into the past. These people that you're meeting on the belt line, these people that you're meeting in the open house and stuff like that, you need to set action steps for each person. What needs to happen next, you know? That's ultimately your follow-up calendar, ultimately. Always make sure that you're putting the ball back in your court, right? If you're waiting on someone else to do something, push on them as hard as you possibly can to get it done since the ball's now back in your court. Okay, now what do I need to do, right? That's going to continue to push the process along. Like the guy you met that said he wants to buy a house, right?
A third one.
Or the open house guy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? What needs to happen with regard to getting him introduced to a lender? You know what I mean?
I talked to him about that.
Did you?
And I was like, have you already been pre-approved? Like, how serious are you now?
Yeah.
I was just kind of like trying to joke with him. And he was like, I know, I really want to. So I gave him Meredith's info.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to check her and see. But I mean, I got their contact information, so now I could just call and be like, hey, just checking in.
I love it.
Did you speak to my lender? Do it?
So she's going to contact him now?
No, I gave him her contact information.
Okay, so with regard to that, best thing to do that, right? But you got his contact information too, right? On the spot, group text.
Mm-hmm.
On the spot, group text. Hey, what's her name? Marion?
Meredith.
What's his name?
Sean,
meet Meredith. She's my lender at Supreme Lending. She's going to take great care of you. Thanks, right? And just let Meredith know, hey, I'm going to be introducing you to people via group text. When I do, please respond immediately, because that's going to make you look like a rock star, right? And then you also have a record that you introduced them and so on and so forth. So make sure you're group texting in your introductions. You can't rely on somebody to do what you want them to do, right? Which is call your lender, right? Also, you have to determine people's motivation sooner than later. You ever heard the saying, buyers are liars? Buyers are liars, okay? You ever walked into a store? Well, you're a buyer too. We're all buyers, right? You ever walk into a store and they said, you need any help? And you just say some BS like, oh, I'm going to come back. I just got to go to the bath. I got to go around to the bathroom real quick and I'll be right back.
Or do like the people did at the belt line. They look at me and then start talking to each other and walk the other way.
Exactly.
Or act like they on the phone.
Yeah, hello.
It was one girl, like I could literally see her screensaver. It was so funny. I just looked at my husband and then we just bust out laughing. Literally seen her screensaver.
Exactly. So buyers are liars. I mean, they're going to tell you things that they think you want to hear sometimes to get you off their back. That's okay. You know, it means that they're not really buyers, but you have to be able to determine whether or not they are very quickly by trying to move them through a process of pre-qualifying whether or not they're a real buyer. I.e., if they won't talk to your lender, they're not a real buyer. Likewise, if they're not pre-qualified by a lender, you shouldn't show them property, okay? A prerequisite for you to show somebody a property should be, are you pre-qualified by a lender? No, I'm not pre-qualified. What in the world's that?
A fan.
No, I'm not pre-qualified by a lender, but I want to go look at this house. Well, I appreciate that. Do you mind speaking with my lender real quick? It'll take a couple minutes. And literally, the lender can get it done in a couple minutes. They don't have to pull the credit to get somebody pre-qualified. They just have to know, hey, do you have a job? How much do you make? What is your overhead? How much are your bills? They're trying to determine a debt-to-income ratio. And then the lender will say to you, hey, as long as everything they told me checks out, they're pretty good to go, you know? Now, you don't want it to be that way, but I'm just saying, in the absence of time, if you don't have time for them to send in all their stuff and get pre-qualified, hey, no problem. Do you mind just talking to my lender real quick, right? And you need to use your resources like the lender, for example, to help you pre-qualify people. You know, a lot of people don't want to tell you their financial information. And that's fine. They don't have to. It's really none of your business. I always tell people, look, just so that you know, me and the lender are completely separate entities, right? Me and the lender are completely separate. I will never know what your credit score is. I will never know what your debt to income ratio is. I will never know what you make. I will never know what you spend. I'll never know any of those things. That's private information between you and the lender. My job is to communicate with the lender on what is the price that you can pay for a home, and then communicate with you on what kind of home do you want, where do you want to be, and then take you out and go find that property and get it under contract and negotiate a successful deal and get it all the way to the closing table so that the lender can provide you with the money to close, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I had that conversation on Friday.
Did you?
with some clients.
Good. What happened?
Well, actually, I got her pre-approved. So I need to go get her to sign the bride brokerage agreement.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But I was talking to like some more of her friends, and I was just telling them, that's a big misconception.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll never know. Like same thing you just said.
Yeah,
I'll never
exactly.
know how much you make or your credit score and stuff like that.
That's exactly right, and a lot of people don't understand that, so they're intimidated by your presence because they think what you're asking them to do so that you can go show them a house is open your freaking books up, right? A lot of people drive around in nice cars like they make all this money and this, that, and the other thing, and they don't want anybody to know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Especially with friends.
Yeah, especially with friends and family, what's that?
Can I say that marker thing?
Oh yeah, that's private information, right?
I'm just putting the website up here.
Oh, cool. Thank you for setting that up.
No problem.
So it's 9:20 now. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. And then what we're going to do this morning is we're going to do some, you guys are going to do some prospecting this morning after I present what I'm getting ready to present. And then we're going to meet back in here in about an hour and a half. And I want to see how it went. Does that sound good? Has everybody been prospecting every day?
Yes.
Good.
It's like a natural once you do enough of it.
Are y'all keeping track of your contacts like we discussed?
Yes.
How's that going?
Good.
Good?
I got them written down, but I gotta put them in. I gotta get used to the what's the thing called? Command.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna get all tied in on that too. I've got my office moved over here now, guys. So my office is upstairs where Ann's office used to be. It's the same office. So I'm here now.
Did you take a picture of your own office before you
I
cleaned it
did.
out?
I thought about it yesterday, but I was like, oh well. I didn't do it before I moved it out. But my new office is up there, so I got an office and I'm here now 100%, and I'm really excited. So, anyway, I'll get into it. Any question about last week?
Yes.
What's up?
I got a couple of them. So the first one you said that download. You was gonna tell us what we can do, how to download this thing to create a spreadsheet from our phone contacts.
Yes, it's called Contacts. The number 2, XLS.
XLS.
Yep.
What's that?
Would you say that once more?
X large small.
It's right here. Let me see. It doesn't matter. Just it's contacts space the number 2.
And context plural?
Yeah.
Okay.
Space the number 2 space the letters XLS. It's an application. Literally, you download the application. I'll show you. You're not really going to be able to see it very well.
What's this for again?
This is so that you can download your phone contacts into an Excel spreadsheet, which can be then uploaded into your database.
Yeah, this is what I was telling you about.
Yeah. So it's contacts to XLS. You're going to download it. You're going to hit it, whatever kind of file type you want. It'll convert it. You send it to your email. You download it onto your computer, and you're good to go.
Okay, and the other question is, you told us about an open house form that we can use if we want to do an open house for someone without a contract.
Yeah, that's called the authorization to show unlisted property. Authorization to show unlisted property. And just so you know, what that does, okay, the purpose of it, I'll give you an example, right? I had a for sale by owner pop up, and a buyer that I've been working with sent it to me. They said, we love this house, we want to go see it. I said, okay, great. I called the seller. I said, hey, Mr. Seller, I've got a buyer. They want to come see your house. He's like, fantastic. I said, are you protecting buyer's agents? He said, yes, 3%. I said, great. What I need to do before the showing is send you an authorization to show unlisted property. It protects me in the event that my buyer purchases your home, not only for my commission, but actually just to have the permission to go and show your property, right? And I'll show you the form. On the form, it basically says, you have permission to show the property to this person, not just anybody, but this person. Now, if you wanted to hold an open house for sale by owner, for example, what you would put is, anybody contacted during the open house, right? Anybody contacted during the open house.
So to clarify then, the first form you talked about is for sale by owner when you say unlisted.
It's for anybody with an unlisted property. Anybody with an unlisted property that you're going to show to a buyer that they may have an interest in purchasing and the owner has an interest in selling.
Okay.
You're going to want to give them an authorization to show unlisted property to sign prior to you showing it.
Yes.
It gives you official permission to do it, and it clarifies specifically that you're going to make a certain commission,
Yes.
3%, 4%, 6%, whatever it is you agree upon with the seller, okay, in the event that a specific person purchases the property or you find a person during a certain time range, right? So, in other words, let's say I go show a property to a buyer who wants to see a for sale by owner. I go show it to him, right? Let's say after I show them the property, the buyer decides to call the for sale by owner because their ad is right there online, okay? And they say, hey, just wanted to touch base with you. Our realtor showed us the house today. We want to make you an offer. We're wondering if we might be able to get a better deal if we don't use our realtor, okay? To which the seller is going to say, absolutely, it would save you 3%, right? Which, hey, why wouldn't they? It's a $500,000 house. Who doesn't want to save 15 grand? All you did was just call them about it and open the door. You haven't earned $15,000 yet in their opinion, right? What's preventing the buyer from doing this, right? Nothing, ultimately. So in the event that you have an authorization to show unlisted property and you have the name of the person, right? Let's say I showed Shantae the property and she tries to call the seller and cut me out of the deal. Fine, right? Fine. But guess what? I'm protected. Doesn't matter now. And you do it before the showing, right? This is how you get, it also shows professionalism, guys. I mean, look, we're not just looking to show FSBOs to buyers, right? We want to get listings. This is a level of professionalism that you're showing a for sale by owner by making them sign something. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you want me to come show my buyer your property, you got to sign this form saying that if they buy it, you're going to pay me a commission. It's like, oh, okay. Well, none of the other agents have asked me to do that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. This is what we require. I'll send you the pre-qualification letter. I'll send you whatever you want. But you got to sign this form for me to show the property. If they won't sign it, don't show it. Mm-hmm. Let the buyer go do their own thing. Whatever. Call them. I'm not showing it. Right? They won't sign my form. I can't show it to you. Sorry. You know? Mm-hmm. So you just have to make a decision based on that as far as however it goes. What I want to talk today about is belief, passion, and energy in what it is that you sell. Okay? The problem is this, guys. We get all these scripts. We get all these numbers. We know we're supposed to make all these contacts. We know what we're supposed to say, when we're supposed to say, and how to say it. The problem is, do we care enough to actually convey to the people who are selling their properties, who we want to work with, that we give a damn, with lack of a better word, about what they're trying to do? part of this is fear, okay? You're afraid of rejection, okay? You're afraid of rejection, so you're scared, so you need a script, so you're going to memorize the script. So now when they pick up the phone, you're just going to say the script and hope they don't hang up on you, because ultimately you're afraid that you're going to get hung up on anyways. It doesn't really make much sense if you think about it, because, you know, if you're afraid, if you're, number one, why are you afraid? Number two, if you are afraid, your best option is preparation, right? So number three, isolate your fear and break it down to the simple task so that you can go out and get a win. With regard to what we're doing, what is the simple task that is relative to the fear of ultimately being told no?
Getting out there and being told no.
Making a contact, right? Making the call. Making the contact. Going and introducing yourself to the person. Does not the fear go away as soon as you make the introduction?
Mm-hmm.
The fear goes away as soon as you start having a conversation. So what we want to do is we want to isolate our fear. We want to say, okay, what is it that I'm actually afraid of here? Am I afraid of success? That's a whole nother topic, right? Are you afraid somebody's going to say yes? Right?
That's actually very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, because if you don't know what to do, what if they say yes?
Yeah.
Then what do I say?
Yeah.
Right? What if they say, come on over and list the property?
Yeah.
Then what do I do? Right? So I want you guys to help me understand your fears by writing a few of them down. What is it you're afraid of? I need to know. Send me what it is that you're afraid of. I can guarantee you it's one of a few things. Number one, you're afraid they're going to say no, right? Number two, you're afraid they're going to say yes. And number three, you're afraid they're just going to hang up on you, not say anything, right? Or just walk away from you and be rude. All of which will happen, right? All of which will happen. So why would we go and do this job then? Why would we do any job? If you're just going to, if they say yes, we don't know what to do. They say no, oh, that destroys our confidence. Or they just hang up on us and move on. And that destroys our confidence too, right? Well, it's because you have to care about your job. You have to care about the product or the service that you're out there trying to provide to people. You have to believe in your own value proposition, okay? If you have the ability, you have to have the ability to care instead of pretending to care.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really care. That is going to come through in your phone conversation. It's going to come through in what it is that you're doing. I wrote here, everybody knows when they're being sold and they don't like it. You know how much of a turnoff it is. Don't you know when somebody's trying to get all salesy on you?
Mm-hmm.
And don't you know what a turnoff it is?
Yeah.
Right? It's because you know they don't care. You know they're only interested in what? Themselves. Right? Guys, this is the biggest thing in sales. If you can figure out why you care about selling somebody a house or selling someone's house for them, that's going to solve most of your issues with regard to succeeding in this business for a long, long time. If the only thing that you're focused on is making $100,000, it's going to be very difficult for you to get there because all you really care about is yourself. And people know that. Everybody thinks they're beyond that. Everybody thinks, oh, well, I can tell when other people are doing it to me, but they can't tell whether I'm doing it to them. Watch. What makes you think you're so much better than everyone else who is pretending to care when you're pretending to care? What makes you think you're so much better than everyone else who's pretending to care when you are pretending to care? You're not. You're not better. No one is, okay? No one is better than anyone else when it comes to pretending to care. If you're pretending, you're pretending. And if you are, people are going to know it, and you're not going to get in the business. Because you know who they're going to work with is someone who is. And I put here, you aren't that skilled. No one is. people have a built-in BS detector.
I saw that. I was like,
Okay? People have a built-in BS detector, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No one's that good. Skills are important, right? Skills are incredibly important. But there's a whole nother realm out there which is called like emotions, right? People feel you. You feel other people. It's your voice tone. It's how you shake their hand. It's how you look at them in the eye. It's how you do what you do when you do it. Do you do it with a level of passion, belief, and energy that shows that you actually do care about them?
Curiosity.
Curiosity, absolutely. Curiosity shows you care. I put here, the best salespeople on the planet in any industry have found a way to care about what it is that they do and who it is that they serve. Now, the cool thing about what it is that we do and the people that we serve is that if you really do care, you can really help someone. And that's really what you should be focused on. Because the truth is, guys, if you can't help someone else, you're not going to get paid. Right? How can we help people? Oh my gosh, the list goes on. Okay? The list goes on and on. What about somebody who has a job transfer? They need to get to Salt Lake City in 45 days. They need help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? What about somebody that is getting a divorce and they're paying that mortgage payment, plus now they've moved into separate rental apartments, so now they've got 3 payments where they used to have 1. Those people need freaking serious help.
yeah.
What about an expired listing that's been on and off the market for the past year and a half? They need help. Now, one thing to look at, why is that the case? Why do listings go on the market, expire, go on the market again, expire, go on the market again, expire? Why does that happen? Price, condition.
Or they lose faith in it, in their ability, because it took so long. So now they disappointed.
Yeah.
So they take it off.
Wrong agent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could
Location. All those things.
could be a difficult client as well.
Difficult client, for sure. What's that? Maybe a loan fell through or something like that. In most cases, the problem is that the listing agent is doing what the seller says. In most cases, because the listing agent wants the listing so bad that even though they know it's overpriced, even though they know it's not going to sell, they take the listing anyway so they can get a listing. They're afraid to tell the seller the truth because they're afraid that by telling the truth, they're not going to get the business. And you know what the truth is, especially if you've taken the time to review the comps and review everything that it is that you've got to review in order to do a proper presentation for a seller. You know the truth. You know why the house hasn't sold, okay? Do you have the courage to go in there and say, hey, look, Mr. Seller, I understand that you want to net $275,000 on the sale of your home. But unfortunately, based on the comparables, based on what's selling in your area, the home itself is only worth about $250,000. That actually puts you, after you pay 6% commission, if we get full price, right, netting somewhere in the neighborhood of $235,000. Now, we can expect to sell within 2 to 3% of list price. So actually, my prediction is that you're going to net somewhere in the neighborhood of 225, maybe 220. How do you feel about that? Right? You might be surprised to hear that you're the only one that's ever told them that. You're the only one who's had the courage to stand up to them and say, you're wrong, here's why, and if you want to get the home sold, this is what you're going to have to do. I can help you get it done, but at your price, I'm not interested, sir. Here's something good to say to a seller. Sir, you're still the highest bidder on your home.
Right.
That's a great line.
Right?
The one right there said you must.
You must possess a love of the idea of what it is you do. You got to possess a love of the idea of what it is you do. I'll give you an example, okay? I love the idea that I have the ability to call someone this morning who I don't know, and they don't know me. We don't know each other, right? But I'm going to call them, and I'm going to have a good conversation with them. They're going to see, based upon what I say, that I actually genuinely do care about helping them reach the outcome. And then I'm going to go over there. I'm going to sit down with them. I'm going to meet with them. I'm going to take the listing. I'm going to win. If I'm competing with anybody else, I'm going to win. I'm going to put the listing on the market. I'm going to get it sold. And I'm going to help this person on to the next stage in their life. Whereas today, when that listing expires, guess where these people are? They're down in the freaking gutter, guys. They're in the dumps. Have any of y'all ever had a listing expire? Your own personal home? It sucks. It sucks. Let me give you a little insight into what it's like, okay? You decide you want to move. You know a realtor. Someone recommends a realtor to you. You meet with them. They seem great. You sign the paperwork. They put the sign in the yard. They put the pictures up. First week goes by, nothing. Second week goes by, nothing. Couple showings. You're wondering what the heck's going on. The realtor's not calling you. They're not giving you updates. In the meantime, you're saying, hey, honey, it's okay. Don't worry. Let's just keep looking at houses. They obviously know what they're doing. I'm sure they're working. I'm sure they're doing something to get our home sold like they said they would, right? Another week goes by. Another 2 weeks goes by. Maybe a few showings, a little follow-up. Hey, it's not the right house for them. The realtor calls. Hey, guys, we've been on the market for 6 weeks now. I think it's time to reduce the price 10%. 10%? We haven't even gotten any feedback from any of the showings. What are you talking about, 10%? The $500,000 house, you're talking about reducing the price 50 grand, right? Now they start fighting and bickering back and forth. Well, geez, if we sell $50,000 less, it's $50,000 less than we can afford. Those houses that we want to buy, we can't even buy those houses anymore. Is this even going to work? Are we even going to be able to do this? What about this? What about our plans? What about our job? What about everything? Do you know that oftentimes realtors don't even call their clients and tell them that their home is getting ready to expire? In many cases, they're surprised by the onslaught of phone calls that they get the morning the home expires. They don't even know that the damn thing went off the market because their agent's not communicating with them in the first place. These people are in a tough situation, guys, okay? You've got to love the idea of being able to help them through that situation. If you can fall in love with the idea of helping them from A to Z, from the time you call them until the time that you deliver the check to them at closing, if you can fall in love with that idea, you will get paid and you will win business, okay? Now, what do? We get all fired up. We start loving the idea. All right, I'm ready to go. I love the idea. I call them. They didn't answer. Okay, whatever. On to the next one, right? You have to call people. You have to talk to people. In many cases, 6 or 7 times before you're going to get the real answer. A lot of people say get 7 yeses, right? A lot of people say if you can get 7 yeses out of somebody, they're going to do business with you, right? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how many yeses you need to get. But I do know that you're going to have to call 6 or 7 times and talk to somebody 6 or 7 times before they're going to probably let you in their home for an opportunity to interview for the job. Why does it take that many times? Because it shows that you what? It shows that you care. Okay? How do they know you give a damn if you just call them the day they come off the mic? Just like everybody else is doing, you call them, right? Now, do people set listing appointments on the first day an expire comes off the market? Absolutely they do. That's why you have to call that first day. you might go ahead and get a listing appointment set if you do a good enough job. A lot of people are like, hey, honey, guess what? That didn't work. Great. We're going to interview the next 10 best agents that call. And they make a list, 1 through 10. And they sit there and write down names. Hey, sir, you still interested in selling your home? Sure am. Would you be interested in sitting down and meeting with me so that I could show you what we can do to help you get the home sold? Absolutely. Great. When would be good? Whenever's good for you. Anytime this week, you just let us know. We're available. Okay. You know, you almost feel like it's not even real. You're like, is this real? Don't you want to hang up on me or tell me no or something? Like, what the heck's going on here, right? But the truth is, what they're doing is they're saying, okay, fine, you've got all these people calling us, and honestly, that's what they should do. Because another thing to remember is, like I told you, that you can tell sellers is, you only got 20 calls today? Sir, did you know there's 80,000 real estate agents in Georgia? It's funny how only 20 of us are actually doing our job, right? So there are ways that you can get in front of people, but it's not going to be by saying the slickest line. It's not going to be by perfectly crafting your perfect script. I'm not saying you don't need to memorize your scripts. You do need to memorize your scripts. You need to know the who, what, when, where, why, how questions that you need to ask when you do get somebody engaged so that you can determine if it's going to be a good fit for you. That's what those questions are about. Those questions, number one, show interest, show care. They show all those things. But it also gives you the information that you need, right? Where do you plan on moving? Oh, we don't really know. Maybe down the street. Okay, well, if you don't mind me asking, why did you decide to sell in the first place? Well, you know, we figured if we could get $150,000 more than we owe, then we could afford to buy the house down the street. Okay, sir, well, I see you've been on and off the market here twice. You've been on the market for the past year. Are you open to adjusting your price down in the event that a buyer comes in and makes you an offer? Nope, we're staying with this price. If we can't get this price, we're not moving. Well, you're sitting there looking at the comps. You're sitting there looking on Zillow or wherever you're looking at it, and you're going, these guys are out of control. They're at least 10 to 15% overpriced. You can't help people like that, okay? You need to make sure that you understand if it's going to be a good fit for you. You have to have the ability to actually care instead of pretending to care. You have to love the idea of what it is that you do. Everybody knows when they're being sold and they don't like it. What it is that makes you think you're so much better than everyone else who's pretending to care. Do you think all these agents that are calling these expireds and withdrawals and for sale by owners, do you think they really give a damn? Maybe.
Some of them might.
Some of them do. You better assume that they do, right? You better show a higher level of that when you go in, right? And here's what it comes down to, guys. If you truly believe in what you sell, if you love the idea of what you sell, if you believe in your ability to truly help people, you'd really just be recommending things to people constantly. You'd just be out there making recommendations to people, okay? How does a doctor make recommendations? They have to know where your pain is. They have to know where you're hurting. How does a case lawyer make a recommendation for a file? He's got to know what's going on with the file. He's got to know what the problem is. You can't just go and sit down with an attorney and say, figure it out. They're going to be like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about, right? What's your problem? Like, did you get in trouble? Did you have a DUI? Did you kill somebody? What the hell happened, right? Likewise, you have to discover what it is about the seller, what's going on, what's the problem, what's the deal, right? Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so what we talked about last week was how many contacts does it take for you to sell a listing? Who's been taking their contacts down? Yeah? How many are y'all getting? Are y'all doing the 3 in person and 10 on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah?
3 in person.
So 3 in person and 10 on the phone is 13 a day. Times 5 days is what, 65? A week. Who got 65 contacts last week? Anybody? No? What is the holdup, do you guys feel like, on getting the contacts?
For me, a lot of it, I'm working in my community, 425 homes.
Okay.
And so a lot of it is a second introduction or
Yeah.
a third introduction.
Okay.
So then I could easily say if that's that.
Yeah.
And then there were new introductions, brand new ones.
Okay.
So where it first might have been like a hello letter in the mail or a
Yeah.
card or just chatting.
Are you working expireds or FSBOs or any of that
Absolutely.
stuff? Are you only in that area or in
No,
the
no, no.
surrounding area?
Multiple zip codes.
Okay. So the thing is, portion of your contacts are going to come from your sphere, your farm, right? The people that you know, your past clients. A portion of your contacts are going to come from that. Most of them, however, need to come from people you don't know. People you don't know. And now comes the fear. Now we get a little nervous, right?
Actually, well, for me and others I've heard, it's easier for me to make cold contact
Yeah.
than the people I know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
often they're like, the experience is, oh, you again. In my head, anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so.
Okay.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about this, everybody else? People you don't know.
Yeah, I don't have trouble with.
No?
Yeah, I don't have trouble with calling people I don't know. It's people I do know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is more of a I gotta see you again. And I don't know.
Yeah? Is everybody on board with that? Y'all agree?
But is it us and our
I think I like
Okay,
it.
so let's talk about people you do know. What's the problem there?
I like contacting people I do know.
Okay. So the problem with contacting people you do know over and over again is what? You start running out of things to say.
Yeah.
You start running out of value, ultimately, right?
Or become annoying, and then they start ignoring you.
Yeah, annoying equals when there is no value, right? There is such a thing as over communicating, guys.
Yeah.
And that's why I say most of your contacts have to come from people you don't know. Okay? I mean, whose database is over 100 people? 200? 300? 400? 500? 600? 700? 800? How much?
I have I gotta pull it up, but I'll tell you in a second.
All right, so let me tell you guys something about your database, okay? A properly managed database will yield 10% of that number in referral business every single year. So if you've got a database of 400 people and you're not getting referred 40 deals a year, guess what? Either one of two things is happening. Number one, you're not managing it properly. Number two, it's not a real database. Okay? Your database can't just be the phone book. Anybody that's in your phone, anybody you've ever met, anybody that's ever been in your phone, there's no value in that, guys. It can't be a freaking 3,000 person email list that you're sending your email drip campaign to. You're not going to get business from that, right? You should be getting 10% referral from your database. If you have a database of 1,000 people, legit, you should be getting 100 referrals a year. Can you imagine that? Now you've got a serious business, right? So let's talk about database for a second, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot more people out there that you don't know than people you do know. And that's why most of your contacts on a daily basis which you have to make contacts on a daily basis to create the compounding effect that you want so that you will continually get business, right? If you've got a database of 300 people, right? What are you going to call? One a day? For the next, however long? What's that?
I was saying one ideal is to go by the name, like the letters.
Yeah.
I heard that as an example.
Well, you should be communicating with them at least every 6 weeks, minimum. The people in your database, you should be communicating with them every 6 weeks minimum, okay? That's mandatory. But that's not every week. It's not every 2 weeks. Can you come up with a way to provide value every 6 weeks? Absolutely. Is it harder to come up with a way to provide value every week? 100% it is.
Yeah.
Because you really don't have value to give every week. What you want them to do is when they think about real estate, they think about you. That's really all you're going for with regard to your database, guys. Okay? You become their preferred vendor for real estate. Who knows who they like for pest control? Who knows who they like for hamburgers? Who knows who they like for car washes? Who knows who they like for dry cleaners? Tennis shoes? Real estate. That should be you for everybody that you know. Okay? That's powerful. And actually, when you're talking people you don't know, you're trying to get them into the category of people that you do know. That's the objective, guys. Okay? That's the objective. But it's an attrition game. It's a game of attrition. You might have to contact 250 to get one. You might have to contact 1,000 to get one. You might have to contact 1,000 people you don't know to get one person that you do know. Okay? And here's what's more important. You want people who know you. Okay? There's a saying, it's not about who you know. It's about who knows you. What do I mean by that? Of all the people that are in your database, who is it that knows you as their primary real estate resource, person, go-to, referral source? Who can pick up their phone right now and go through and say, starting the A's, right? Aaron Cowan, Aaron Linker, Aaron Pohl, Aaron Wushner, Abby King, Abby Perez, Do all of them, does that person know I'm in real estate? Am I their go-to real estate person? Every person in your database, every single person in your database should know you and should know to call you in the event that they have a real estate need, and they should be reminded of that every 6 weeks via mail or personal contact. Email's just not good enough, guys. You can send emails out every week. You can send newsletters out every month. People don't look at them. They delete them. You got to put mail in their box. You got to put a voice on the other end of the phone. You have a question?
Yeah, but adding value though, if I were to receive something every 6 weeks from a friend or someone I just met and it's always real estate related, that would turn me off.
Yes.
So the value, could you say
Good
more
morning.
about, would you say more about like ongoing value?
Yeah, so creating ongoing value with your database, right? It is always real estate related. But let's talk about, for example, mail, right? With regard to mail, we've got 4 seasons, all right? Every time the season changes, there's something else coming up, right? What happens when it comes to winter? Well, you got to remember, turn your pipes off when the water freezes, blah, blah, blah. You can come up with a list of things for each season, right? You can send them a little football calendar. You can send them a market update on the neighborhood they live in. You can send them a valuation of their home. Hey, I just did a market update for your neighborhood. I was thinking about you. I'm going to go ahead and send it over to you. And I also thought you might be wondering about the value of your home. Did you know that, 30 homes sold in your community over the last 12 months, right? Most of your contact is not going to just be, hey, do you know anybody that needs to buy or sell real estate, right? Most of your contact is going to be through mail, or you're just going to call to say, hey, right? Hey, it's Ben. I was just calling. I was thinking about you guys. Hey, what's going on with little Johnny? Is he still in soccer? Oh, he is? Good. How's your business going? And how's Jennifer doing? She's good? Fantastic, man. Well, listen, I just wanted to call and touch base with you. Hope you guys are having a great time. Let's get together soon. You don't have to say anything about real estate. If they know you are in real estate. Don't you know what your people do, what your friends, your tribe, what they do? Mm-hmm. Don't you know? Do you have people that you recommend business to? Car salespeople, dry cleaners. And why do you recommend business to those people? Because they stay top of mind for whatever reason. Maybe you just go to your dry cleaner every week and they do a great job. Typically, it has something to do with them doing a great job and providing value, right? Mm-hmm. So people who know you and people that you know are two different things, right? Mm-hmm. I met Drake one time. Drake knows me. No, he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? If I called Drake, he'd be like, who the hell are you, bro? I'd be like, well, remember back in the day we were at the club, we met? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, dude, I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now. Right? Yes.
I feel like with some people that I know, I have to stay in front of them as much as people I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I was walking next to my friend at a festival, and she's like, yeah, they about buying a house next year, and we were catching up, and I'm like, that's great shit. She's like, yeah, I gotta talk to this realtor about it though. I'm like, girl.
Does she know you're a realtor?
Yes. And she was like, oh yeah, I forgot it. And she had literally just asked me, how's real estate going? I'm like, are you an idiot?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's why you have to keep the postcards coming in their mailbox. That's why you have to keep the calls coming. You got to keep the calendars coming. You got to get creative, you know? You got to think, if someone's going to communicate with you every 6 weeks, how would they be able to create value in your mind? Oh, look, Ben sold another home, honey. Good for him. Throw it in the trash, right? That's still value, right? Every time you sell a house, you need to send a postcard to your database. Yeah. Every time you get a new listing, send it out, right? I mean, you can hit them more than every 6 weeks, right? But the point is that you want to hit them at least every 6 weeks to stay top of mind. Everybody knows somebody that's buying a house, guys. The question is, do they know you, right? Do they know you're in the business? Do they know you're looking for business? Do they know you're out here getting after it? Do they know what you're doing? Do they know how you're doing it? Do they know you're in the marketplace to provide value? Because if you have more than 300 people in your database and you're not working on like 30 deals a year, which a lot of you guys haven't even been in the business for a year, so you don't know that. But I'm just telling you, if you got more than 300 people in your database and you're not doing 30 deals a year from that database directly, either they don't know you or you don't know them. Okay? I mean, how do you know if they moved to another state or something like that? Who has a database where they haven't talked to anybody in that database in years? I bet all of you do.
I do, yeah.
See, I am constantly adding people to my database, but guess what else I'm doing?
Taking them out.
Taking them out.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to take people out of your database. One rule for your database: don't have anybody in it that you don't like. Okay? Well, why? Well, they might buy a house from me too. Well, if you don't like them, you're not going to call them. You're going to skip over their number. So what's the point? And also the chance is if you don't like them, they probably don't like you either. Okay? So they don't want to buy a house from you because they don't like you. That's okay, guys. Not everybody's going to like you. You're not going to like everybody else, right? So make sure in your database is people you know, people who know you, people who you like, and people who like you. It's not that difficult. Why do we want to do it like that? I'll take somebody with a 50-person database over that works it, that's engaged, that's all over it, that's communicating with them every 6 weeks, that's their friends, their family, their colleagues, people they know, love, the people love them, know them. Guess what? The people who know and love you, guess what they want to do? They want to support you, man. They want to help you. They want to help you get business. If you got friends that don't want to see you succeed, remove them from your life. Okay? Straight up. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I know she wouldn't want me to succeed, well, then she's not your friend.
Right.
And you should remove her from your life. Family, too. I mean, you got to see them at Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But look, don't be expecting somebody that doesn't want you to succeed to send you business and then get mad at them when they don't. Just get them out of your life, guys. I'll take somebody with a 50-person database that works the heck out of it and works it properly, and we'll get into that, versus somebody with a 500-person database. It doesn't mean anything, right? The person with the 50-person database that's working it properly is getting referred 5 deals a year. At an average price point of $270,000, that's $7,500 times 5. That's $40,000 a year that their 50-person database is paying them. $40,000 a year. And by the way, guys, that's what you're doing. You're building a database that pays you. You want to talk about passive income and residual income? This is how you get it. You got to build the database out. It's got to be there. This is the absolute holy grail of real estate. This is the foundation of your business, okay? It doesn't help your foundation. The numbers don't mean anything. You have to get past that. A 1,000-person database is not better than a 100-person database. It's all about, are you engaged with those people? Do they know you? Do they want to help you? Do you like them? Do they like you? Who's got any questions about this?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say I go out to lunch and I meet somebody while I'm out at lunch.
Yeah.
How do I take that interaction like to the next level? They may or may not be looking for a home or something like that, but just like a...
Yeah. Well, ultimately, as it relates to what it is that we're doing here, right, which is selling real estate, you've ultimately got to determine if they have a need. Number one, do they have a need? If they don't have a need, then you really can't help them at that point. The second thing is, do you like them? Do they like you? Do you guys want to be friends? It's a long evolving process. Ask them if they mind if you add them to your database. Hey, do you mind if I add you to my database? I communicate with my database about every 6 weeks. Would that be okay? Oh yeah, what do you communicate about? Well, real estate. I give updates on market trends. If you'll give me your address, I'll give you an update on the value of your home every year, and I'll send you a complete market analysis on what the values in your neighborhood are and what the value of your home is. I send out tips on what to do in the spring, fall, winter, summer. Right? I just provide all kinds of information. Ultimately, I'm trying to provide value to the people that are in my database. Do you mind if I add you to my database? No, I don't mind at all. Go ahead. Nobody's going to say no to that. Or somebody might say, no, I don't really want to be bothered. Okay, no problem. Don't add them. Right? The process of adding value is a long-term process, guys. This business is a long-term business. You have a long-term sales cycle. It's a 90-day turn. What you're doing today is going to pay you 90 days from now. Deals that I have closing today, I don't have a closing today, but deals that I have closing today, right? Those are deals that I started working on 90 days ago. I started showing those people houses 90 days ago. We had a conversation about the fact they wanted to sell their house 90 days ago. If it's properly priced, if they're a real buyer, if they're a real seller, right? So how do you build your database when you only know 50 people? Most people, by the way, it's said, know about 150 people. Most people know about 150 people. Okay? So I want to challenge you to go through your database. Go through your Excel spreadsheet. Go through your file. Go through whatever it is. I want to challenge you to go through that and eliminate as many people as possible. I want you to eliminate people who you don't like. I want you to eliminate people that don't like you. I want you to eliminate, dude, I have had people on my phone, I don't know who the heck they are. I'm like, who is freaking Jeff? Right? Who the heck's Jeff? I don't even know a Jeff. Right? You got two options. You can call Jeff and ask him who he is. Or you delete him. Because him just sitting there doesn't do anything for you. Do y'all understand where I'm coming from here? I'm talking about being intentional on everything, on every level. I want you to know every single person in your phone. I want you to know who they are. I want you to know what they do. I want you to know what's going on with them. I want you to know every single person. Now, I'm not saying you have to call them and ask them what their business is. I mean, some of the people in my phone are surveyors, appraisers, right? Guess what? They live in houses. They buy houses. They sell houses. Who do you think the appraiser is going to buy his house from? Probably his wife, his or her husband or wife, because they're going to have a real estate license. But guys, they buy houses. They buy and sell houses. Everybody does, right? Your people that own your dry cleaning service, they buy and sell houses. They need to know you do real estate. For goodness sakes, you take your clothes there and you pay for them to make your clothes look good so that you can look good when you're out there doing your job. Let them know why. Hey, thank you guys so much for doing such a great job on my clothes. I want you to know how important it is for me to look professional every single day because I'm a professional real estate salesperson. I'm a realtor. And when I go out every day, I need to look professional. So thank you for helping me with that. By the way, here's my business card. By the way, do you mind if I add you to my database? By the way, are you looking to buy or sell a home in the near future? You know what a guy told me down the street? He goes, you know, we're not looking to buy or sell a home in the near future, but we are looking to move locations because this place is going to get torn down soon. Could you help us find a new location for our dry cleaning business? I said, sure, absolutely. So I'm going to refer him to the commercial guy that I refer business to, and he's going to help him, and I'll get a referral fee. Excuse me. Now, am I going to say, hey, no problem, guys, I can handle that for you, and I don't do commercial real estate? No. It's not adding value, man. That's self-interest. Maybe I could figure it out and get paid. No. Okay? Have somebody, and we've got a great guy here in the office. I forget his name. He's a Colombian guy. Is it Juan?
Juan. Uh-huh.
I don't want to say Juan because it's kind of a standard Colombian name, you know. But anyway, Juan is fantastic. I met him the other day. This guy's going to make a lot of money, okay? And, you know, if you have a commercial deal, refer it to Juan. Hey, yeah, my boy Juan will help you out. He's the best, right? And that way, guess what? Juan is going to refer business to you, too. If you start referring business to Juan. You guys should be introducing yourself to business owners. When you go buy a hat at the lid store, when you go to the dry cleaner, wherever it is that you go, you should be trying to figure out who's the business owner here. Who owns this freaking place? And do they have a need, right? Mm-hmm. They might have a commercial need. They might need to move locations. They might need to expand. Refer them to Juan. There's money to make at every step. But the most important thing is your database. Who do you know? Who knows you? Who do you like? Who likes you? Who don't you know? The reason why we do this every day is to build this. If it takes us, like we talked about, 250 contacts to sell a listing, and you're running 65 contacts a week, you know, sell a listing every month and a half, which is great. That's probably more than you're selling now, okay? But that's running at 65 contacts a week. If you wanted to take your contact number to 25 a day, you could sell a listing every 10 days, right? You could sell 3 a month. And if you don't sell 3 a month doing 250 contacts every 10 days, that's a skill issue. Now we have to adjust that contact number. We have to see when you sell a listing, and then we have to track back your contacts to see how many contacts it took you to sell that listing. And then we'll know. I'm guessing it's about 250 for you guys, but we have yet to see. So this week, what I want you to do is every single day, I want you to text me the total number of contacts that you make every single day at the end of the day, okay? Whatever the end of the day is for you, it doesn't really matter to me. Whenever you're done working, text me the number of contacts you made. And don't lie, guys. I don't really care, okay? I mean, honestly, I'm here to help you succeed. You only have yourself to let down if you want to tell me you made 10 contacts and you didn't make any. If you make 0 contacts, say you didn't make any. Say I made 0 contacts. That's fine. You have to be honest with yourself about where you're at. So, we want to add people to our database every day. Everyone we meet, we want to try to add them to our database. Cycle people in, cycle people out. So I want to challenge you guys to do something this week with your database. Clean it up. Clean it up. Is everybody on board with that?
Mm-hmm.
Clean it up.
So can you pull it up to show, like, for instance, if I have like several that I need to delete or will archive all at once, how I can do that?
What's that?
How can I select multiple ones at once? Contacts in command? Because from the way it's going, it's like I have to literally go over to the tab on each one and archive it.
Oh, to delete them?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You want to delete
I want to do,
chunks.
yeah.
Okay.
Because like,
I
see
think
what?
is, you know how
To
there's
be
like
honest, I'm not
checkboxes
exactly sure.
Yeah.
on the left?
Mhm.
When you check box, there should be like a group action thing that you can do or something like that.
So, it wouldn't be these, but I just let me see.
When you were talking about
So-
putting Excel spreadsheets,
So I'm trying to get rid of the ones that like just don't have a phone number, but just like
I did that last week and
Okay,
sent
and
it
then
to
select
Scott
vote
Leroy,
action.
Yeah.
and they
Archive.
put it all in
Okay.
command for me and
Thank
sent it
you,
back
thank
to me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's awesome, isn't it? Do y'all know about that with Scott?
about what?
Scott will
Leroy.
upload all your stuff into command.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
can
That's
also
what
help you
happens.
get stuff out of there too. I'm not really sure, honestly, how to
She
use
just showed
command
me.
yet. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm not up to speed on command. You guys actually know a lot more about it than I do. So I got a long way to go with regard to that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scott can upload all your stuff into command. It's pretty awesome. Doesn't cost you anything. So, as far as what we're going to do this week, guys, I would like to stick with the minimum of 10 phone contacts and 3 in-person contacts per day. Minimum. Okay?
Now, when you say the 10 phone contacts, is
Yeah.
that new or
Doesn't matter.
okay? Just
I would prefer that you focus on calling for sale by owner, expired, withdrawn, just listed, just sold, and a portion of your database every single day. And we'll get into that. Could be your neighborhood. You know, just listed, just sold is awesome for the neighborhood. Awesome.
Would you say again, what would be the conversation?
Yeah. Okay, so for a just listed or just sold, the conversation is exactly the same, right? It's I'll do a call with you. You ready?
Yeah.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi Nanette, it's Ben Heidenreich with Keller Williams Realty. How are you today?
Hey Ben, doing great.
Good, good. Listen, I just wanted to call. You may or may not be aware, the home across the street from you actually closed last week. Did you know that?
Well, I see the sign in the yard.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So look, it's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house, as I'm sure you may know, and it actually was on the market for $350,000. It closed for $335,000, and they had $5,000 in seller paid closing costs.
Good. Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to give you a call and give you an update on that. By the way, when are you guys planning on moving?
Oh, we're real happy. I don't think we're going to do anything for at least 10 years.
Okay, 10 years. Fantastic. Well, listen to that. I just wanted to call and give you that update. Obviously, let me know if you hear about anybody, and I hope you have a great week.
Yeah, and by the way, where'd you get my phone number from?
Well, it's right here in the neighborhood directory.
Oh, so calling from the neighborhood.
Or
But
I
if-
looked it
even
up
if-
online. It's in the white pages. It's public information, ma'am.
Very
It's in the phone book.
You still get a phone book?
Guys, who doesn't know how to get people's phone numbers? Be honest. Whitepages.com. Whitepages.com. I think it's like $3 a month or something like that for the premium. You can get anybody's cell phone number, home number, anything. If you're driving down the street and you see an address that you want to contact that person, right? Write down the address. It's called a reverse address search. All you got to do is put in the address and it'll pop out the phone numbers. And then you just tell people, hey, I found you in the white pages.
And actually, upstairs they can do a search by neighborhood and give you all the addresses and phone numbers
For
of
free.
everybody in the name.
Yeah. So you can go to Lori, and if you have an address, she'll give you, tell her like, this is the address, and I want all the numbers from 2 miles out, and she'll give you all that information. That's why mine's so big.
Or subdivision, she'll do that. She just sent me an entire subdivision, and she did it so quick, like an hour.
Yeah.
How do you get this stuff, and a nice little Excel spreadsheet, all nice and organized.
Yeah.
That's so great. What's Lori's last name?
Front desk, just receptionist at the front desk.
right,
Lori,
okay.
I can't think of what it is.
That's okay. That's great. Thank you all.
Yeah.
All right, so who's got any questions about this? You guys on board for 10 on the phone, 3 in person?
Yeah.
Sure.
Any questions about that?
I haven't done it in person yet. So we're warming up introducing ourselves and we're saying, hi, nice to meet you. I work for Kelly Williams. And then what are we saying? Do you know who you are?
No, you don't want to say that. Again, you want to be genuine, right? Hey, I just want to come and introduce myself and let you know I work for Keller Williams and I sell real estate in the area. Here's my business card. That's it.
Right.
Do it in a place you feel comfortable. Do it in a place you feel uncomfortable. Guys, you're going to learn more from being uncomfortable than you will from being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's going to take a little warming up, go to a place that you're comfortable in, Go to Nordstrom and look around at clothes. The salesperson will come introduce themselves to you.
Mm-hmm. For real.
You know what I'm saying? And then you say, hey, by the way, I wanted to let you know I work for Keller Williams. I'm in the real estate business. My office is in here in Buckhead. Here's my business card. If you have any people that come through here talking about selling houses, please think of me first.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Can I take your contact information? Do you mind if I add you to my database? Introduce yourself to business owners, guys. Guess what? You're sitting there giving them money. Do you think they want to meet you? Of course they want to meet you. This is the best barbecue sandwich I've ever had, man. How do you guys do this? Gracious sakes. Well, it's my dad's grandpa's recipe. Man, it's unbelievable. By the way, I work for Keller Williams. Here's my business card. I'm selling real estate in the area. Right? Anywhere you go, you should be introducing yourself to people. They all have houses. They all live somewhere. Right? Does that make sense?
And an easy way to do it, at least for me, is like finding something that I can use and tie in real estate at the same time. So,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love your bag. Where did you get it from? You're like, oh, I got it from here. Like, it's perfect. I need a bigger one in real estate, and I need something for my laptop in. Obviously, it sounds a little better than that, but like, have a conversation going, and then it just goes, oh, cool.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, compliment. I always tell girls their clothes look nice.
Yep.
We don't
Compliments
hear
work.
them anyway, but it always works too.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
That right. You gotta straight up
I know.
No.
lightly.
Guys, don't go around hitting on girls. It's not going to work.
There you go, man. Stay away from me.
Don't go around hitting on girls. It's not going to work.
Something I do in the grocery store, if I notice somebody in the aisle, so I walk by and speak the first time, and then I leave.
Yeah.
And then I'll see them again, like, oh, there you are again. What's that? Start talking about whatever it is that I act like I'm picking up the same stuff they picking up. What you cooking tonight? And then we start talking. I always start a conversation and then go in.
Yeah.
And then I like to play that game, whatever you want to call it. But like in the mall, I go to the mall a lot, and so I'll do the walk by and speak the first time. The second time I just look, And like the third time, then I'll finally say something. I say, now this the third time I've seen you, so I think I need to talk to you, and then I just start talking.
There you go.
But yeah, just you gotta see them a couple times without the direct approach, and then the next time they more comfortable because they your face look familiar now.
Right.
So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You want, but you want to have a conversation.
Exactly.
You want to have a conversation with
You
them.
look like my cousin.
But it could just be to introduce yourself and give the business card. That's okay too. The point is to start working on getting past the fear. Work on getting uncomfortable. That's where the growth occurs. And what's going to happen, guys, is you're going to meet somebody, and you know what they're going to say? It's so funny that you just walked up to me and introduced yourself to me right now. Because me and my husband just said last night that we want to start looking for homes and we don't know anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I promise that will happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I promise that will happen. If you're genuine, if you care, if you love the idea of what it is that you do, if you're out there with the intention of helping people solve problems, and you're doing the work, you can't wait for it to come to you. It'll come slower than you imagine. But if you go out there and try to find it, it can come a lot faster than you can imagine. But you have to have your intentions set up properly. You have to be locked in, so to speak, to the idea of really helping somebody. Does that make sense? All right. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to start calling. We're going to start our prospecting. Now, we can meet back in here at 11:30 and talk about and discuss. I want to hear a little bit of the feedback you guys are getting. I want to hear what's shutting you down. I want to hear what challenges you're having after you spend an hour on the phones. You guys good with that?
Yeah. Who are we calling? Anybody? Or are we
Call anybody you want. Call expireds. You can call FSBOs. If you don't have anybody to call, pull up Zillow.com. You can go upstairs. They'll print you off a list of your neighborhood. Okay? Another thing that we're going to start working on is making sure that we have people to call every single day so that we're not scrambling to get numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, then we'll be here till noon after that? Or
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on, it takes about an hour to get 10 contacts. You guys can go to the bold room. You can hang out in this room. You go outside and hang out in your car. You do whatever you want to. We're going to meet back here at 11:30 and talk about the contacts that you made for about